On our recent cruise on the Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas, we really tried to get the most bang for our buck and enjoy as many included activities on board as we could. Trivia, ice skating, water slides, flow rider, the live entertainment, the different included restaurant options. One of the factors that makes cruising such a great value is the amount of things you can do for quote-unquote free once you get on board the ship. If your cruise stops at a private island getaway, the rules there are a little different. We stopped at Labadee, where most things are an extra cost, and because you can't see the prices on the official Royal Caribbean website without actually booking a cruise first, I thought I would take the opportunity to go through almost the entire list and let you know what you can expect to pay. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I've been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. And I also wrote a book called Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship, filled with true travel stories of weird things that have happened to me while traveling around the world, like when I had to get stitches on a cruise ship. It's available on Amazon now. Let's start with what is free on the island, or as others would say, included in the price of your cruise. There are several beaches in this enclosed area of the coast of Haiti, and when you leave the ship and just keep walking, you will eventually end up on Adrenaline Beach. This is a long beach facing the open ocean and will give you a good view of the zip line that we'll be talking about in a minute. The white plastic beach lounge chairs with umbrellas will not cost you extra. Don't get those confused with the so-called beach loungers, which are these hoods covering a set of 2 lounge chairs. If you want to reserve one of those, they were going for $74.99. It's really just the chairs that are kind of out in the open with or without umbrellas that will not cost you extra. There are also these very Instagrammable beach beds on Adrenaline Beach, and those will cost you around $216 for the entire day. Okay, back to free things. All the way down at the end of Adrenaline Beach, under the big tower where the zip line starts, there is a sports area with a basketball court, pickleball court, and bocce ball. Everything you need to play was provided, and that will also not cost you anything extra. Lunch is also free at several barbecue buffet restaurants. If you see one, you can just walk right up, grab yourself a burger, hot dog, salads, fruit, dessert, and none of that will cost you extra either. Drinks like ice water and lemonade, and I think they had iced tea, were also provided. And if you want to order a Coke or a beer or cocktail, that will of course cost you extra. But here is a question that I know many have because it's different on different cruise lines and different private destinations. If you have the drink package on Royal Caribbean, you can use it on Labadee. That's a nice plus. We were there in November and it was hot. If you get tired of walking around in the Haitian sun, you can take the tram around the island. It has several stops and is included in the price of the cruise. Just hop on and hop off as much as you want. And honestly, as far as free things to do on Labadee, that's about it. There are hiking paths and bathrooms and showers and things like that. And by the way, I went into one of the bathrooms and there were 2 employees just chilling on a bench inside. I peed and they just sat there, staring at the wall. That was weird. Now listen, you can have a great beach day without spending any extra money, but there are plenty of ways to pimp your experience, and that's what we're gonna talk about next. Over on the Nelly's Beach side of the island, there are several different classes of cabanas, and this is the calmer side. This beach is so peaceful and tranquil. It's totally sandy, there's very few rocks, and you can just walk way out. This is like the chill out beach where there's, I guess, basically also no waves. And I think I got this right. I believe these are the waterfront cabanas, and that includes ice water, towels, and floaty mats, but do not include any alcohol or extra food or snacks. As far as I know, none of the cabanas do. These were going for $399 on our cruise, but were listed as sold out, which is interesting because while we were at that beach, they were all completely empty. There appears to be another class of beachfront cabana. This was a wheelchair accessible one, and that was going for $599. And then there are these over-the-water cabanas that start at $799. And, you know, this is really just a slice of paradise, but honestly, that's more than we paid for the entire cruise, just to have a cabana with some towels and ice water in it. Our friends who let us come over and check theirs out mentioned that they somehow got a good deal on theirs, but still, I'm gonna need a massage, a personal chef, and a bottle of champagne included before I spend $799 on something like this. Okay, something I'm confused about, there are also cabanas over at Barefoot Beach going for $1,299, but the map says that that area is only for suite guests. So does that mean that after you spend the extra money that a suite costs, you can pay even more money to get a cabana in the suites only area? If you're gonna get one, why not just get one of the $799 versions right next door? What am I missing here? If you are a Labadee expert and realize I got something wrong, please let me know. Let's go through a couple other activities leading up to the incredible thrills at the end, and don't forget to subscribe along the way. It really helps me out. If you want a floaty mat, that will cost you $17.99. If you want to go on a kayak adventure, that's $36.99, which actually is a pretty good price for something like that. A jet ski tour is $97.99 per person. The water slide, singular, is $21.99 for an all-day pass, and the bouncy, climby, splashy things out in the bay called Arawak Aqua Park was $31.99 and included a single pass for the coaster. Speaking of the coaster, the Dragon's Tail is a so-called mountain coaster, which is like a mix of a sled and a roller coaster. After the lift hill, you control the speed, and if you go with no brakes all the way down, it is a very wild ride. An all-day pass would have been $31.99 for us, but it was sold out. So when we were on the island, we went to the check-in booth and ended up getting a one-time pass for $25. But because the employees were in such a good mood, we actually got to go twice. I can't confirm that they do that every day, but that is what happened to us. And the main attraction is, of course, the record-breaking Dragon's Breath zipline. In part 1 of my series on Labadee, I showed you everything about the coaster and the zipline, but for $93.99, we got to do the smaller practice line down on land, and then the huge 500-foot tall flight, which is the longest zipline over water in the world. It was absolutely spectacular, and I would do it again, despite the price being as much as an entire day at a Six Flags park.
My hands are shaking. My knees are shaking. It's crazy.
Like I said, make sure you check out part 1 if you want to see more of this, and make sure you're subscribed to get more videos like this about cruising and other travel-related activities. Coming soon, you'll see not only a tour of our somewhat disappointing cabin on the Independence, but a full ship tour, an old person's guide to Epcot, and my first experience flying business class on a long-haul flight with Delta. See you soon.